Hey everyone, welcome back to another Flutter tutorial. Today we will diving into a Google Map in Flutter. We'll guide you through the entire process, starting with integrating Google Map in both Android and iOS device, creating a developer account, and getting the API key. As we move forward, we'll cover key features like how to change the default marker into a custom marker and display it, getting the user current location by just clicking a button, drawing a polyline between the different points, and draw a polygon on the specific area on the Google Map. And we have also covered designing the custom info window just like to similar that you have seen on the Google Map and much more. And I'll instruct you everything step by steps from the basic to advanced feature of the Google Map in Flutter. Let's start the complete video and learn the entire process of the Google Map in Flutter. Let's continue the video. You can see this is the brand new Flutter project. I have just created that. Now the first step is to add the Google Map Flutter package in your system. Go to the pub.dev, or you can directly install from the VS Code as well, and you can add the latest version of Google Map Flutter package in your system. You can see I have added the latest version of Google Map Flutter package. After you have added the Google Map Flutter package in your system, you need to set up. First, you have set up for the Android. In your system, your main SDK version at least the 20. Keep in the mind, your main SDK version is at least the 20. Go to the Android app, build.gradle. Here you can see latest update of Flutter, auto detect the latest version. If you have used the old version of Flutter, then you need to define here the latest version, otherwise it auto detect your latest version. After this, we have added this metadata in our Android manifest.xml file. Copy this metadata from here and go to the Android app src main, and here Android manifest.xml file. Here is the one metadata is already there in your system. Then you need to paste the second metadata just before the ending of first metadata. And here is the section, your API key. You can replace this your API key text with your actual API key, Google API key. I'll instruct you for this API key as well. Go to the Google Map API console, search this, and here is the first link, Google Cloud Platform. Click on there, and first, if you have not created an account here, first create your account with your Gmail and go to the console section here, and you can see first go to here and create a project. I have already created too many projects, and select any one of this project and go to this menu, navigation menu, and here is the API and service, and you can choose this library. Here is the list of library available. If you require to use the API key, first we need to enable the library. Click on view all, and for Google Map we need to add this map SDK for Android. You can enable this. Without enabling this library, you are unable to display the Google Map in your Flutter app. This is for Android, and for iOS, Map SDK for iOS. Here you can see this Map SDK for iOS. Enable this also. After you have enabled both the SDK for Android and iOS, go to again here, and here is the credential section. After you have select the credential, here is the create credential and API key. You have generated the API key here. Another thing you need to keep in your mind, first you need to create our account and log in. You need to add the credit card. It provides the $300 free for 1 year, and after that you need to enable the library that you are going to use, and copy this API key from here and paste it just this API section. You can paste on here and save it and leave it from here. After this, you have successfully completed for Android. Now we have do it for iOS as well. For iOS, to set up, specify your API key in the application delegates. It may be application delegate.m or it's maybe application delegates.swift. I have used the Swift. For here, you can copy this all from here, or you can just copy this line, your API key, gsservice.provider API key, your API key. You can copy this from here, or you can copy this all. And after you have copy, here is the iOS section, runner app delegation.swift, and you can paste it here and replace this with API key. And another important things, don't forget to import the Google Maps. And the last things is, come here to port file for iOS, and by default this is like this, commented. You need to uncomment this and add the latest version of iOS. I'll make it at least 14 and save, and lastly from here. Now you have successfully completed the setup. After we have successfully completed the setup, I'll create the new dart file and give the name, and I'll define the stateful widget, and I'll give the Google Map Flutter name of my class, and I have replaced this placeholder with scaffold. After that, in the home page, I'll define the Google Map Flutter. And in the body, we'll define the Google Map. We require the initial camera position. It takes the camera position. Now let's define the target. Latitude, longitude. I'll give the name my current location equal to, again, latitude, longitude. And you give the any latitude and longitude, but I'll give my area latitude and longitude, Nepal latitude and longitude. After that, in the target of camera position, we'll set the my current location. And I'll set the zoom to 15. Let's try to restart. You can see we have successfully integrated the Google Map in our Flutter app. Let's comment out this zoom and let's see, and restart again. You can see by this way you can display the Google Map in your Flutter app. By double clicking it, you can zoom this Indian Ocean, India, Nepal, China. You can see all the data. By this way, you can implement the Google Map in your project. After we have successfully integrated on iOS, let's try same in Android as well. You can see we have successfully run this app on Android as well. In Android, here you have by default provide the zoom in button and zoom out button. By clicking it, you can zoom in and zoom out the map. That's it for Google integration part. After we have successfully integrated the Google Map in both the Android and iOS device, now we have dived into changing default marker into a custom marker. We are going to change the default marker to a custom marker, and we have also added the marker info as well that you have already shown is in demo. You are going to change the Google Map marker. I'm hoping that you have already set up the project and add the API key. Let's enable the zoom and restart the app. Can see this is the area that I have provided in my current location. For a default marker, here is the marker parameter inside the Google Map marker. Inside this marker, you need to provide a marker ID. You can provide anything inside this. I'll provide the marker ID. After this marker ID, you need to provide the position. Inside this position, you can provide latitude and longitude, but I have already created here. I'll provide this position, and you can see here is the default marker. You can zoom it. This is the default marker that provided by Google Maps, and let's make it draggable. By default it is false. After you have set up the draggable true and define the on drag int, you can easily drag this marker. Let's try. You can see you can drag this marker. After this, let's define some info. Inside this there is a two parameter title of the marker and snap it. After you have provided the info window, and if you click on the marker, you can see it's provide the information about this marker. You can set any information. Now after this default marker, and we have set the some information about marker, now we have code for the custom marker. First we need to define the variable to store the custom marker. After this variable, we need one function to set a custom marker icon. You can give any name to this function. I'll give the custom marker. Inside this function, here is the bitmap descriptor dot assets. We are going to set the default marker by using the assets. We have stored the image locally and display on it. Here is the image configuration first, and second is that we have provided the address of this custom marker. For this image, I have created one folder, asset folder. Inside this asset folder, I have the image. I'll provide the three images, but we have used just one image in this video. You can see this is the image that we have used, and most important things you need to keep in your mind. Image must be the very small. If you have used the 1080 by 1080 image, then you have faced the error. It is unable to display. You have just used the 64 by 64 image or 128 by 128 image. More than this size, you have unable to display it. And we have also defined this image inside the pubspec.yml. And after that, we have defined the address of this image. After we have provided the address of this image, then we need to update the state. Here is the set state to update the state, and we have provided this custom icon into this icon. That's it. And one last is we need to call the function that says the custom marker. For this, here is the init state. Inside this init state, we have defined the custom marker function. We have completed all the required steps to display the custom marker. Then the last step is we need to define this function. After this info marker, inside the marker icon parameter, we need to define the custom icon. Save it and restart the app. Here you can. We have successfully changed the default marker into a custom marker. You can drag this marker as well. You can see. And if you click on this marker, here is the info of this marker. You can change this info according to your requirement and app condition. By this way, you can easily change the default marker into a custom marker in our Flutter app. After we have successfully changed the default marker into a custom marker, now we have dive to get a user current location. You have already knows that in the demo we are going to show the user current location. If user click on this my current location icon, the Google Map show the user current location by using the marker. For that, we have just comment this marker section from here, and we have also comment this line as well. Let's save it. You can see there is no any marker. Now we have continued the today's video. I'll provide all the source code is in the description. First we have created the Google Map controller. by using the let keyword. Let keyword ensures that the variable is not nullable but doesn't need to be initialized immediately. You can initialize it later. After this Google Map controller, we have just set the marker as well. After this, we have set the marker in Google Map. And let's define the onMap create function. It is used to setting the controller when map is created. After this, we have removed this icon from here and we have customly defined. It's maybe my location button. By default, it is true. We make it false. After that, we have defined this inside the floating action button. Floating action button. Inside this floating action button, here is the onPress. We have performed the operation inside this onPress. And here is the child icon. Inside this icon, here is the my location. And we have set its size to 30 and background color to white. After this, you can see when we have click on this my location icon, it's dragged to the user location. Inside this onPress, we have make this function async. We have required the geolocator package to show the user current location. First, we have add the geolocator package. It's a help to show the user current location. First, go to the pop.dev and here is the geolocator package. Currently, this 12.0.0 version is available. First, you need to add this package in your system, geolocator package. It's required some setup on both the Android and iOS. First, here is the Android section. Go to the Android section. You don't need to add this. It is already in your system. You can check it. If there is no this to file, then you can add and you can change your compile SDK version to 33. My system auto detect the latest compile SDK version. If you have faced any compile SDK version error, then you have go to the Android section, app build.gradle, then you can change the compile SDK version. Here is the compile SDK version. You can change it to 33. The main important things is we need to add this to permission on our manifest file. Copy these two files from here. And here is the Android section, app, src, main. You all know that. Here is the Android manifest.xml file. Paste this to user permission line just ahead of this application tag and save it. For this current video, it's not required for us. And that's it for Android setup. If we have faced any error, we have solved during the time. Here is the iOS section, runner, and here is the info.plist. And here is the iOS section. Copy this two line. You can see I have pasted this two line here. And inside this string, you can write the comment why you have used this package. I have just write to get user current location, or you can just set it default as well. After this, we didn't require this and you need to copy this all and paste it here. Save it and leave it from here. After that, you have successfully set up the geolocator for our project. After we have successfully set up the geolocator, then we have continue to code. We have already make it async, getting the current position of the user. We have required the position, and for this position, we have separately defined one function. We make it future. I will give the function name current position, and I have also make it async. This problem is solved at the time, and I will define this function here. After that, we have performed all the operations that we have required to display the user current location. For this, first we have set the variable. This variable check whether the location service on the device are enabled or not, and we have also checked the another variable, that is the location permission. This is the location permission, and here the permission. This location permission check and request the necessary location permission for the user. After this two variable, we have check if the location service are enabled or not. Check if the location service are enabled or not. We have check all the permission. You maybe check only one or you can check the complete, but checking all the permission is the best practice. Here is the service enable. We use the await keyword, geolocator dot check permission. We have checked the permission. If permission is equal to location permission dot deny, we have checked permission equal to await geolocator dot request permission. If user denied the location permission, we have request for the permission, and still user denied the permission, then we have written the future dot error message, location permission denied. And we have checked another permission. If permission location permission dot denied forever, if user denied the permission to use the location forever, then we have return future dot error, location denied permanently. At last we have getting the position, geolocator dot get current position, and we have written this position. This is not a service enable, it is the permission. This is the permission. After you have changed it to permission, all the error have solved. We have forget the one steps. We have checked the location permission status. This is the location permission status. Now after that we have checked. If the service is enabled, then geolocator dot each location service, we have checked if the location service is enabled. If not, we have print the error message, future dot error. Let's check where is the error. I think this is the bracket fear error. Oh, here, this I think this is in here, and we have solved the error. We have faced this type of silly error during the coding. Now we have animate the camera to the user current position. It means when user click on my location, it animates and go to the user current location. For this, Google Map controller dot animate camera. Here is the camera update dot new camera position. Inside the new camera position, here is the camera position. In this target, we have provide the position dot latitude and position dot longitude. New user location comes from its live location. If user click on the my location button, the new latitude and longitudes comes from its new location. And we have shown the user current location by using the marker. First we have clear the marker. We have clear the old marker, and we have defined the new marker. Marker dot add. There is the marker. Inside this marker ID, you can provide any of the marker ID. I'll provide this is my location, and another is position. In this position, here is the latitude and longitude. We have provided the same latitude and longitude that we have triggered from the user new location. Now we are refreshing the state to update the UI with the new marker by using the set state. And save it, and let's restart. When you have restart the app and click on show my location icon, then it show the dialog box to get the permission. Here is the allow once, allow while using the app, didn't allow. If you didn't allow from here, the app is terminated. We have allow while using app. Here you can see the current location, but I think I forgot to define the zoom in new camera position. In this camera position, I'll forget to define the zoom. Here is the zoom. I'll define it 14. 14 is the best. And I will again restart the app. And let's try. You can see this is my exact location. This is my exact location. By this way, I have successfully displayed my current location. But you have unable to do this. I'll say this. Why? By default, in simulator, here is the current location. It's maybe California or Apple. To set your current location, first click on this simulator, just simulator. Here is the feature section on the top, and you can see here is the location. By default in simulator there is Apple is selected. If I will also select the apples and restart my app, and I will try to get my location, you can see here is the different location. I think you have also see this location. To solve this the problem, go to the location section and choose the custom location here, and you will need to provide your exact location. Here you can set your exact location and save it. After doing this, and save and reset the app, and after click on this icon, you have got your exact location. By default it's maybe Apple location, or by default in the simulator there is the California location. You need to set your custom location. After we have successfully show our current location on iOS device, let's check on the Android device. Let's try to run on the Android device. You can see we have faced to update our Kotlin version. Let's see what's the new Kotlin version available. Here you can see here is the Kotlin version 2 is available. You can see, go to the setting.gradle file. Here is the setting.gradle file. Inside here, this is the Kotlin version. You just need to change this from here, and another is root level build.gradle. One bad things in new update of Flutter, there is no any section of Kotlin version. I will provide all the source code. You can copy this from here. We need to add this line. After that we have solved it. If this line is already in your system, then just update the Kotlin version. Recent update of Flutter didn't provide this all line. That's why we have also faced the problem during Firebase setup. You just need to add this line and save from here. I hope the error have gone, and let's try to run the app. You can see our app is built successfully. In Android, here is the 3 dot setting icon. Click on here, and here is the location. You need to set your location. First of all, search your location. My location is Surkhet, Alsor, and this, and save this. I have already saved my location here. After you have done this, when you try to get your current location, first it asks the permission from your side. When you give the permission, then it show your current location. You can see this is my exact location. By this way, you can easily show the user current location in the Google Map. We are going to draw a polyline. For that, let's create the separate file Google Map polyline dot, and let's create the stateful widget and give the name Google Map polyline, and replace this placeholder with scaffold. And after that, let's define this function in main.dart. And save it. And first, let's integrate the Google Map in our system. First, that we have already done in our previous video. I'll copy this from here and paste it. Here is the Google Map. I'll copy this all and paste it inside the scaffold, and import the Google Map package. And we didn't need this. Remove this, and we have also copied the marker and current location, and paste it here. We didn't need this controller, and I have uncommented this as well. Remove the const keyboard. You can see, for the complete knowledge of Google Map, you can follow my playlist, and I have also instructed you how you can create the API key, a developer account. For the Google Map, you need to enable the Place API, Map SDK for Android, and the map SDK for iOS. For this video, you can also need to enable the direction API that I have already installed in my first video. If you have any problem to enable this, you can watch my first video in my playlist. After that, we have continued the today's video. For polyline, first we set the polyline to draw on the map. For that, we use the final keyword to set the polyline inside this polyline, and I have give the name. After we have set the polyline, we have created the list of points that define the polyline. For that, we have used the list inside this lat long, and I will give the point on map. Inside this list, you need to provide the point that you are going to display in the polyline. For that, go to the Google line and just click anywhere, just like I'm going to click here. After you have clicked on any point, you have got the latitude and longitude, and you have provided this latitude and longitude inside this list. I have already collected this point, then I'll paste it here. You can provide any number of points as far as your requirement or how many distance you can create the polyline. I'll provide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 polyline. After that, let's initialize it. Now, after initializing, we have added the marker and polyline points. For that, we use the for loop, and I'll define one int character inside int starting from the 0 index. It means first index in this list, and end with the point on map dot length. End with the length of the point on the map. If here is the only 2 point, then it's create the only 2 point, and if there is more point, it's create the more. And after that, we have increased the number 1 by 1. After that, we have add a marker at each position or at each point. For that, here is the marker. We have already defined it, and marker dot add. Inside this, we have used the marker, and we have provide the unique ID for edge marker. For that, we have give I dot toString. This I from here. Edge time the unique ID for edge marker, and we have also provide the position. This position is from point of the map. And we have also provide the some info. You can provide any info inside this. That is the two parameter inside this info window. One is the title and another is snap it. After that, we have defined the icon, and inside this icon we have defined the default marker icon. After this all, we have connect all the polyline that we have defined. We have used the polyline that we have created here, and dot add polyline ID. We have just provide ID. Point of this polyline is from point of the map. And last, the color of the polyline is colors.blue. And I think all is completed. Now, only one thing that require is we need to define this polyline inside the Google Map. After that, save it and restart the app. We have successfully draw a polyline inside our Google Map. You can just remove any point. You can see we have just used 3 point, and the polyline is like this, and we have used all the point, and polyline is like this. By this way, you can create the static polyline in Google Maps In upcoming video, we have created the dynamic polyline with the user live location by the use of Flutter Polyline point package. We are going to draw a polygon. Everyone knows that the differences between polyline and polygon. Polyline is straight or curved line. Polygon is the shape that it may be rectangular, triangular or different shapes. For that, we have created the separate file for this. I give the name Google Map Polygon and create a stateful widget. First, we have display the Google Map in our polygon screen that I have copied from this polyline screen. First, I have copied this my location and marker from here and paste it. After this, I have also copied this Google Map from here. In every video, there is no meaning to give the lots of time to set up the map, and I will define this inside our main file. Google Map Polygon. Let's save it. You can see. After the Google Map integration is complete, let's start for the code to draw a polygon. I'll confuse in between polyline and polygon. First, let's create the controller for this. A complete object is used to control the Google Map controller asynchronously. Let's define the final keyboard, and here is the completer, and inside this we have used the Google Map controller, and I'll give its name to completer and equal to completer. This controller is provided by Google Maps, and we have already initialized the empty marker. The main important things is we set the polygon first. The set is used to hold the polygon on the map using hatch set for better performance with unique items. And I'll give the name polygon and hatch set. I make you clear every part of this line, how is it work. A set in that is the collection of unique items. It is useful when you want to ensure that all items in the collection are unique. A set collection type is typically used when you want to perform an operation like adding, removing and checking. We have added the set of points, that's why we use this set here, and polygon is the type provided by the Google Map Flutter. Everyone knows that, and this is the name, there is no doubt about this. And this hatch set is a specific implementation of the set interface in that it is optimized for performance and ensure that the item in the set are unique. And as said, use a hatching algorithm to store and retrieve the items. And after this hatch set, let's define the one list, and I'll give this list name to points, and we'll define the one array. Inside this list, we have store the point that we are going to draw. For that, I'll also instruct you how you can collect the list of point in the Google Map. You can choose any location that you have wants to draw a polygon. I'll choose this location is near my area, and here is the stadium, and this is my university. And if you double click on any point, here you can get the latitude and longitude. Copy this from and paste it here. I have already collected the list of points to consume the time, and only one things you need to keep in your mind to draw a polygon. The first point in your polygon and the last point in your polygon must be same. After that, only the polygon is draw, otherwise it's look like one line. After you have collected this all the point, let's we define the one method to add a polygon to the set of polygons. The polygon is created using the defined point that we have collected just before that. And inside this method, there is the polygon dot add function. Inside this, there is the polygon, and we need to give an ID. You can give any unique ID inside this. And here is the point parameter. We will connect this point with this point. Here is the stroke color, the color of the polygon border. You can give any color that you have like, and the width of this border. By default its width is too much. You can see this is 10. I feel that this is too much and I'll give to the 4. And the fill color inside this polygon, which color do you want to fill? I'll choose the color green. Inside the fill color I have choose the green color, and I have also set the opacity to 0.1, and here is geodesic. By default it is false. We need to make it true. It's indicate whether the polygon should follow the earth curvature or not. After we have add all this point inside the polygon and we have initialized this, just we define this function inside the init state and our task is completed. Inside this Google map here is polygon parameter, and we'll define its polygon that we have created. And one last thing is on map create function. This is the void function. It is used to complete the Google Map controller once the map is created. After this all, let's save it and restart our app. And let's try to zoom it. You can see we have successfully drawn polygon inside our Google Map. You can change this border color, you can change this fill color as far as your requirement. By this way, you can easily draw a polygon inside your Google Map. After we have successfully integrated the Google Map, change to default marker into a custom marker, draw a polyline, polygon, and get current user location. Now we have dived into designing the custom info window that we have tried to design like to like similar that we have shown is in the Google Map. You can see I have just initialized the Google Map. I hope you have know how to initialize the Google Map. If you have any problem to display the Google Map in your Flutter app, you can watch my previous tutorial. I think this is our 6th video in Google Map. We have covered all the components in Google Map. In upcoming video, we have also covered the remaining topics. You have already watched the demo. What we are going to learn in our today's video, we are going to add a custom info window in our marker. For that, the first step is we need to add this custom info window package. It helps us to display the custom info window. For that, just copy this package and paste it in pubspec.yml. You can see after that we have ready to continue the today's video. After you have added the package, the next step is you need to initialize the controller. It manages the custom info window we have here. After we have initializing the custom info window, we have also set the marker to be displayed on the map. After we have set the marker, now we have created the one list of array to list the coordinate lat long where a marker will be placed, and you have give the any name to this array. You can add any number of latitude and longitude. I have added just 3. You can see I have added the 3 latitude and longitude that I am going to display in my map. After this, we are going to initialize it, and I have created one function. I'll give the name display info. This function is used to add the marker and the custom info window on the map. First, we apply the simple for loop. Here you can see I have just applied the simple for loop where the value of I is starting from the 0 index and its values goes until the length of this array. How many number of length we don't matter. It's go until the last index and increase the value of index every time by 1. And inside this function we have add the marker.add, and here is the marker. We need to define the marker ID. We have defined the unique marker ID that is from i.toString. Every time the marker ID will be unique. After this marker ID, we have defined the default marker icon. This is bitmap descriptor dot default marker. Marker, we have display this marker, and where we have display this in this all the point that we have defined is in the array. And here is the onTap function. After we have added the marker, here we have defined the set state and we have initialized this function here, display info. And we have initialized the marker here. You can see marker. Let's save it and restart the app. Here you can see, I think I'll set this zoom to 7. After we have displayed these 3 marker, now we have defined the custom info window from the package that we have already added in our system controller. Inside this controller, we have added the custom info window controller. And here you can see, here is the height, width and offset. You can provide any height, and I think I'll provide the 150 for height, width 250 and the offset is 40. After this, I have defined the onMap create function. It is used to assign the map controller to the custom info window controller. Now, after the onMap create function is defined, we will display our custom info window. Custom info window controller dot add info window. You can see it takes 2 positional argument is expect. The first is any widget. You can display the any widget. I will display the container. And second is position, that I have defined this same position from the marker. And let's try. Inside this, child column text, children text, and let's try it is working or not. And if you click here, you can see the Nepal is display, but we have designed this by this way. If you click on every marker, display the same info, but in this video we have displayed the unique info according to the marker location. For that, first we have added the corresponding name for the location and corresponding image URL for the location. For that, I have already collected the name in the image. Here you can see I have defined the 3 address and its corresponding image. You can display any text, icon, but I'll display the image. We have displayed the image from the network. Here you can see inside this image, I'll provide the location image dot index. Here you can see the location image. It displays the image corresponding to its index. And I'll provide the height to 125 and width to the 250. After this, I'll also define the name. I'll just define the text widget. Inside this text widget, I'll provide the location name that I have defined in the top of my location name array. By this way, you can display the unique info window. Let's restart the app. And if you click on this, here you can see Pokhara and image. And if you click on another location, here you can see the different image and different name is appeared. And if you click on another image, here you can see by this way you can display the unique info window according to the corresponding location. If you just provide the one network image here and its name, then you have show the same info window in all the marker. And if you define the name and image by this way, for creating one list and provide it the name of the marker and the image of the corresponding location, you have display this type of info window. At the end of this tutorial, I hope you have learned how to create a unique and dynamic info window in our Google Maps. Okay, that's it for today's video. I'll try to cover most of the topics. I think some topics are still remain. I'll come with next exciting video. Until now, okay, bye bye. We'll meet you again in next video.